Everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Money with Friends. Every Wednesday, we have the privilege of coming to you to have this really awesome conversation about money, life, and everything else. You know, we always say on this show that money encompasses everything. And for me, on this day, the eve of Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna have an opportunity to celebrate tomorrow. But before we go ahead and do that, we wanted to have a conversation about gratitude. You know, why is it important to have gratitude? And we say on this show that tonight that gratitude matters. We've heard it say that gratitude is everything, and that we always have something to be grateful for. So on tonight, we'll have an opportunity to recount some of our blessings and also give you an opportunity to think deep about what you should be grateful for on this holiday week for Thanksgiving. So without further ado, I would like to welcome my friends, my guests who are on tonight. They're all new. Yay, I'm excited because I was introduced to so many new people to this show. And I have three great friends with me tonight, and I'll give them an opportunity to say hello, introduce themselves quickly, and then we're gonna dive into this very important topic. Your gratitude matters. So why don't we start with Carla first, and then we'll go with Angel, and then Keith. Go ahead, Carla.
Hi, I'm Carla Toussaint. I am the newly mutual aid coordinator. I'm from Brockton. Originally, I'm from Haiti. I was born in Port-au-Prince, Delma-Ventois, and I migrated to Brockton. I feel like, Brockton was like my pilgrimage or my, what's that called? What's it called? The Mayflower, what's the rock? The Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock.
Yeah, as we're thinking of things.
You landed in Brockton.
Yeah. So it was my Plymouth Rock. And I've always felt home in Brockton. I've always felt very, very, very grateful for what Brockton has allowed me to assimilate to, because, it's majority Black and brown. So I've always felt comfortable because, I come from a country that's majority Black. So, just to have people who look like you, who understand you, it's been just a very grateful experience over the decades, over the years. And now I have a child. I'm raising him through the same system. So the only participation is changing the things I probably didn't like, that probably didn't serve many of us, like myself, making it a little bit better for the generation to come. So I'm super grateful for that, to be in a community that kind of like just fits right and similar to home.
Yeah. I'm so grateful to have you on tonight, Carla. And
Thank
Angel?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on tonight, Gabrielle. And I'm Angel Cosme. I am a community organizer with Brockton Interfaith Community, former coordinator of the Mutual Aid Brockton program, and community organizer with the immigration team in Brockton, trying to make Brockton more welcoming and inclusive for all. I'm also an educator, a licensed special education and history teacher. Have worked at Brockton High School, Southeastern, and other places. And I'm just happy to be here. I'm very grateful. And I'll pass it to my brother, Keith.
Yes.
How's it going, everybody? This is Keith Hayes, Sinister One Hayes of Sinister One Productions. Glad to be on this show tonight to talk about what we're grateful for.
Yeah,
I'm very, very excited. I've been in the podcast production field since 2000. I was a sports writer, radio show host, and I do have an outside career in transportation. I'm in upper management transportation at this time. I worked at the MBTA, and now I'm working for Logan Express out of Paul Revere Transportation.
Yeah, thank you all for coming on the show. It's such an exciting time for me because, as I said, I love Thanksgiving. So what does Thanksgiving, what does this holiday mean? What does it mean to you all when you think about it? Like I said, I'm excited. I cannot wait for all the preparation that I'm gonna have to do tomorrow, and also to just an opportunity to be with friends and family. What does it mean to you? Go ahead, Carla.
So Thanksgiving for me, I feel like it means I always feel a sense of gratitude. So I think it allows me to enhance that. I get to be with a lot of family and friends. This year is a little different because my mom is in Haiti right now.
Oh,
So it's like, Haiti's going through its own issues, but it's like, the matriarch of our family isn't holding it down. So I'm the alternative for my
okay.
family. So I want to show up, but it's definitely like as I transition into this space and being a mutual aid coordinator, I remember I was so proud to see like people in Brockton just come together
Mm,
from all aspects of life during COVID, the heights of COVID in 2020, and as it kind of like, had its up peaks in 2021, and then we still feel the remnants here in 2022, but those 2 years of having Thanksgiving, we weren't with family. Some were, some weren't. We lost a lot of family members and a lot of things got readjusted. And as we're like transitioning now into our new normal, I guess
yeah.
it's I lost two uncles to COVID-19.
Mm,
And you're gonna hear my guinea pig in the back. He's like, oh my God. It's like, yeah, represent the monarchs of life. So as I like, COVID allowed a lot of entrepreneurship, a lot of spark, but a lot of mourning took place. So I'm just grateful to have the family members I have to, be able to participate in community activities, because I know it's been hard. COVID was declared no more COVID this year back in the spring, but a lot of us still feel a lot of the impacts. And then just grateful for what I have so far, and to see the community that's come together, working alongside of Angel as well. And I totally appreciate the MBTA, because now I'm thinking of like, transport. Brockton allowed free transportation for everyone. So that's like super important. So people are going to have access throughout the holidays, and just getting around. So just super grateful for a lot of things that's happening.
yeah, a lot to be grateful for. Key, Sinister One, how do you, I mean, what are you most grateful for this holiday season? And is it one of them, the ability, the opportunity to help people transport from one place to the next, especially as they're going to visit families?
Well, is a couple of things. Yes, being able to know that we are allowing and helping people to be transported to see families is a great feeling. To know that you're responsible for this. I oversee a garage of 65 buses out of the GBD location. Those are the blue buses that you see that drive around the airport, dropping people off. When people arrive in Boston, they get on these buses and they see us. We're also involved with those Logan Express buses that you see out of Braintree. So this is one of the busiest times for us during the year. And as you know, that today was the day with everything taken off, and there's a lot of travel. But also, I'm very grateful for my health and family, because I'm just going to say transportation, who really wasn't talked about in COVID. Our industry was the first hit for COVID. A lot of people pay respects to first responders. They pay respects to nurses and doctors, and they deserve every bit they get. But the transportation community, we were first hit with COVID before anybody. This thing hit in the transportation community. We lost drivers. The MBTA lost several drivers and people to COVID because of that contact with the public. We still had to go out there. We still had to put buses in service and get people from places, because people still had to work. And I'm just very grateful that, we made it through that. And, we're here today to be able to enjoy this Thanksgiving with pretty much no restrictions. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, so grateful. I too lost a couple family members, and but Angel, I remember calling you and was like, "Oh hi, I would like to do this show with you because we have mutual friends, mutual friend, and that's Maggie Penny. She's been on the show, and you were like, yeah, you have a 2-year-old, and I'm excited. Like as we were experiencing losses, but we know that you were experiencing a gift. So can you talk about how grateful you are for that?
Yeah, it's bittersweet, because while it's true, and I love Maggie, shout out to Maggie, um a year ago today, I lost my sister. I have three sisters, and I lost my sister.
Yeah.
So the last time I saw my sister alive was Thanksgiving of last year.
Wow.
So, and at the same time, I at that time I had a like a few months old son who's now a
Mhm.
year and a half, right? So he was probably approaching a year at the time. So there's like life and death, right? And so what Thanksgiving means to me is a moment of reflection. It's a moment to appreciate those that you love and to spend time with those that you love. I also can't help but mention like the day of mourning, right? Some people don't celebrate Thanksgiving because like indigenous cultures in particular, like some folks go down to Plymouth and they mourn, right? It's a day of mourning for some people because of the historical oppression of the indigenous folks. So I just want to mention that. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I have my family. I'm grateful that I have two incredible sons. One is 20 years old, and like I said, the 1.5-year old. And we'll be spending some time together, reflecting and loving on each other. I will also just quickly say that Mutual Aid Brockton was launched as a response to like COVID-19. We wanted to support the community. So I'm grateful to have had the experience of having a program like Mutual Aid that has helped thousands of people in the community with food and clothes and rent and transportation issues and all the like. So I love Brockton and I love my community and I love my family, and that's what Thanksgiving kind of means to me.
Yeah, yeah, me too. It's my favorite because it's an opportunity to just give, and not so much take, because like the other holiday that's coming up, Christmas or everyone is looking for a gift. But this one is gratitude. You get an opportunity. I know for me and my family, we sit around, we eating, and each person gets an opportunity to say what are they grateful for, and which always gives us a sense of community, a sense of togetherness, and sense of like we're not alone. So I know we are also grateful, but there are so many people out there who are looking at this upcoming holiday, and you just mentioned mutual aid, and they are bummed out. They're like, holiday coming up, I don't have anything. They say to themselves, really, I have nothing to be grateful for. What would you say to someone who's going through a really difficult time because of a recent loss or anything, financial hardships, and they are struggling? What can they do to kind of pick themselves up? We talked a little bit about that offline, but yeah.
So I'll just chime in quick and let the other guests talk about what they think. But Mutual Aid is a Facebook platform. I think it has about 1,600 members at this time, and it really is a space. Like if somebody needed food, they can go on the Facebook page and say, I don't have any food tomorrow, right? And maybe somebody will say, hey, you can come to my house, or I'll Cash App you, or I'll deliver some food to you, right? That's the concept of it. And Mutual Aid is not a new concept. It's been around. The Black Panthers did similar work. The Young Lords did similar work, where community members decided that they're not necessarily going to just rely on like the government, right, for help, although that's a good thing at times, right? But like that there's power in each other supporting one another. So I would say that if anybody's going through it in the Brockton area, join Mutual Aid Brockton. I'll put the link in the chat, excuse me, and reach out. Don't be ashamed. I've needed help all times of my life, and I still do occasionally, right? And I know that people that we got each other, at least in this community. So I'll just say that. There's a lot more I can say, but it's just been a beautiful thing to see.
And look, you said two things: reach out and don't be ashamed. Is that what we were gonna focus on, Carla? Reach out and don't be ashamed.
Don't be ashamed. So like Angel has said, before I joined Mutual Aid, I had participated in various of ways, either getting help or volunteering. So Mutual Aid has been beneficial. And I know in our community, the Haitian community, we come from a very proudful community. And you had mentioned like my last name's Toussaint. So I always feel like, I understand like a lot, like, the stigmas, not being, comfortable just to ask for help. And, we are people who practice faith a lot. And, Mutual Aid has been based off of faith, faith-based and then community-based as well, where it's like, that's the premise, that's the premise. We help one another and then to just be free and unjudged about that. So I'm super, super thankful that the community of Brockton, we show out, like we definitely show out in helping one another. through the mutual aid program and other programs as well. But that shows like the solidarity that, a lot of times they say like, Black and brown community don't come and show support towards one another, especially in these times. But you can see like we're doing it, and we're trying. And if people are in need, don't feel shame. Don't feel shame. That I will say, as a person who believes in faith, that is the devil talking, because we've been high and we've been low. What comes first will come last. What comes last will come first. We all have a time in need, and we all have a time where we're really super great. We're human. And give yourself a break, especially during these holiday seasons. You're human and you're allowed to feel, you're allowed to be. And if you take away from, your experience and saying you're not worthy of asking, or, you feel like ashamed because you should be here or you should be there, you're not giving yourself slack, you're not giving yourself a break, and you just be kinder to yourself. I think we have to be kinder to ourselves in order to be kind to others, but just start with yourself, being kind to yourself and understanding it's okay. It's okay to need help, because even the strongest need help. When Jesus was carrying his cross, he had help to carry that cross.
We are all looking for help. And I know offline, Keith, we talked about how this is the hardest, the holiday. Of course, we're so grateful. We're looking forward to so many things, but so many, I had shared a post about my brother sharing that this one particular single mom felt so desperate that she didn't feel like she could reach out to anybody. So what would you say to someone who's in that state of mind? Because we're saying be grateful, and sometimes being ashamed to reach out keeps you from becoming grateful, because when you're able to receive, that's when you become grateful, right? And when you even are able to give back to other people, what would you say to someone who's like, nobody's helping me. I don't have any help. There are no resources available for me right now. In terms of like, how can they reach out, come out and find support?
Is that for me or for Angel?
Yes, for you, Keith. Yeah.
For me, I watch a lot of people on social media, and one of the things, social media has a good side, social media has a bad side. And one of the things I hate about social media is that it puts certain things in front of your face. One of those things is mental health, people with mental health issues, and people who are struggling at that financial level. And, it amazes me of how many people you can go on your Facebook or your Twitter or whatever, and you can see somebody say, I'm done with life, and they want to end their life. And you see this. This is something that we see. We're going through it right now with Kanye West. We're seeing this with Britney Spears. We're seeing all of these issues in our face, and you just want to reach out and tell these people, hey, there are outlets for you. There are people that you can reach out to. There are groups. You can look up groups. The first place, if you don't want to go and get professional help, go to church first. Try to find a church that's going to bring you in and talk to you and let you hear the things that you say. Or get that person that's going to be your go-to person. If you feel alone in that need, find that person. I've had complete strangers that I've seen them post some crazy stuff on Facebook, and I've been in their DMs. And I'll say, hey, you good? And they'll say, oh man, I had one person I reached out to. I didn't know this person at all, but I saw their post because they followed me as a DJ. And I saw their post, and they were at the end of their rope, and they were posting, and I just reached out to that person. They said, you know something? You're the first person that reached out to me. Not even my family or no one as friends reached out to me, and they were hurting because of that. So I think people need to know, if you're a friend or a family member of someone and you see this, sometimes as a family member, you see people post stuff and you say to yourself, oh, that's just him being like that again. Don't do that, because you're going to end up with like someone like a Jason David Frank, who committed suicide this past week, the Green Ranger. You got to follow the signs and take it. I always tell people, take it seriously, because you don't want to be that person who gets that call and know that person's no longer with you. So for me, it's not just about the people that are saying it. It's the people who know the person saying it and pay attention. Yeah.
It's very important to have an opportunity to receive, because if you're going through a hard time, you need to open up. You have to open up. And once you've done that, others who are around you will have an opportunity to give to you, and then you'll be able to pay it forward. So my question to you, like personally, how has the spirit of gratitude added, because this show is about money, we say money encompasses everything, but how has the spirit of gratitude added to your financial bottom line, like has helped you succeed in life? Because I think sometimes, that's something that we need to cultivate, the spirit of gratitude, so that we can get all the blessings, count your blessings. That's what we're doing today. So do you want to go ahead, Angel?
Yeah, real quickly. I was born in New York. I guess I'm a New Yorican, as they call us. Born in Brooklyn in the late 70s, and grew up in the projects, and a lot of the people. My sister went to Brown University, one of the top schools in the country, right? But like, not a lot of the people went on to college. Long story short, in my 30s, about 10 years ago, I decided to go back to college, right? And then I got my bachelor's degree, and I went on to get my master's degree. I'm grateful, right, that I had the opportunity to get an education, that I'm employable. I don't take that for granted, right? And so I would say that decision, those opportunities that I afforded myself, pushed myself through, have allowed me to be employable, to have a job. I could teach, I could organize, I could do different things because of the decisions that I made, and I don't take that for granted. I have friends who are in jail, and not who decided not to go to college. So a lot of folks are struggling, right? Not that I'm well off either, but I'm grateful just to have the things that I have and the opportunities that I have.
Yeah, definitely. Carla, you mentioned that in our community, folks are very prideful because the idea of I did it on my own. I will tell you, in my own family, sometimes they're rejecting support because they want to continue to say I did it on my own. But we know that it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a village to build community. And I'm sure Angel wouldn't have been able to get his degrees and all that without the right professors encouraging, without somebody maybe helping out with financial aid. So what do you say? How do you feel? I know we have our own understanding in our community. What do you say to someone who's sitting at home? Part of the reason why they're not being grateful, or they're not able to understand all that they have around them to be grateful for, is because they have that mindset. I'm doing it on my own. Nobody has helped me.
And that's a really interesting question, because community I come from is Brockton, and so we have such a grit type of personality. It's a city of champions, a lot of boxing, a lot of struggle.
Yeah.
And a lot of new things coming. So there's a lot of grit in our spirit. But then that goes back to being Haitian. We have a lot of grit. We have a lot of fighting spirit. And I've always said, I'm acclimating from a fighting culture into a city that's a fighting spirit, or fighting to maintain, or fighting to be recognized in any way. And a lot of times I like the work I used to do. So I got back into community organizing. I'm a crime law and justice major. And when I look back in my own schooling, or why I even chose the path I was doing, is a lot of it was to prove, hey, I'm getting out the mud. I did it all by myself, and look at where I am now, versus where I started. And so a lot of people, if they feel like there's no gratitude because, they're leaning on so much ego, but sometimes they miss out on who is babysitting, who is feeding you, who is giving you some some cash for your Uber rides, and kind of missing the journey in itself to get to that point. And sometimes, it is hard. It is hard when you feel like you didn't have the support you would like, but we do have to recognize the support that has been here, even if it hasn't been much or what we would deem as much. But that's gratitude, appreciating everything that's around you, that has helped you. Because it is lonely for you to think it has been by yourself and you've done everything all alone. You're dismissing, I'm a person of faith, but you're dismissing everybody that's part of the journey, and even why you're doing it. So sometimes kind of just bringing it back and just valuing the little things, because it doesn't have to be like a great strive or a great milestone. If someone helped you, like, we live in New England, taking the snow off your car, or, taking the trash out for you, or even sending you a $20 cash app. That's, just saying that is grateful, because at least, there's someone on your side, and that's super important.
That's super important. Nobody owes you anything, but it's great when you have friends who are willing to stand in the gap and help you. I know, Keith, you have your show. We want to hear a little bit more about your show and how people can connect, because I know it's a great show. I saw my friend Maggie that she was on, but I mean, how grateful are you for all the guests? I know I'm grateful for all the
I'm
people
actually-
who said yes. Listen, I never thought people would say yes to me.
I'm actually laughing because
Yeah.
Angel actually came out to do a live show with me at my house. We did a show
Wow.
outside with the chickens in the yard, and
Wow.
I'm actually waiting for this community refrigerator to kick off, because I already told Angel my chickens were producing like 20 to 30 eggs a week, and I said, you know what? When this fridge opens up, I'm just gonna go and I'll drop a dozen eggs off
That's
at this
amazing.
fridge. Nothing like fresh eggs. And
Yeah.
it's grateful to do this, but my show is called The Booth. It is seen at 7 p.m. on Tuesday nights. My show covers everything. My show starts out with a news topic, and then we go into a legal topic that we discuss, and then we talk entertainment, and then we talk sports, and then we talk politics. And then right now, my extra added segment is covering the Ukraine invasion. Or usually if it's a major worldwide thing, we cover it. But we usually bring guests on. Guests will come on for about 10 minutes. But if you want to stay on and talk topics with me, you can come on and talk. This is where I kind of promote my alter ego. This is where I'm, Sinister One, the DJ. I'm DJ Sinister One, the manager of Viana Marie, recording artist Viana Marie. I'm the guy that, performed at Prova. It's a good time. It's sports. It's, we talk about all this different stuff. And, one of the things when people watch the show, I want them to leave and realize that, damn, I was really entertained.
Correct.
And I learned something. I want people to learn something from my show. And we've done that. And it's tough because, I've done this for so long. So, it's just a tough thing to just keep going, but I appreciate and I'm grateful for everybody out there who supports my show, comes on, shares it, watches it. Like you said, you tuned in. Maggie was on, and Maggie, ever since she's been on, I got to give props to Maggie. Maggie has been watching my show she's like, Keith, I never knew there was a show like this in Brockton. This is, she was like, this is so entertaining, and she loves it. And she's been on every week. She's in the chat every week, and I love the support. So, I'm trying to do something for Brockton that people are like, wow, this show is out of Brockton, and it's great to be blessed. So
yeah, definitely. I want to be on, Keith.
Yeah, we'll definitely. Yeah, I'm actually closing out. So for the year, I have like 3 shows left, and then I take the last 2 weeks of the year off and enjoy time with my family and friends. And, because I'm so busy DJing, I'm so busy doing all this stuff with Viana Marie. So I take the last 2 weeks of the year and make it about family.
Correct.
And Thanksgiving for me is like the prelude of really truly being grateful. I had that dinner knowing that I've got about 3 weeks left of doing all this crazy personas, DJ stuff, but then I'm about to take 2 weeks off to spend that time to just, just refresh, reboot, and be with my family. But again, like I said, I'm ecstatic. I can't wait for Angel's refrigerator, because I've been like, man, I want to be able to get these eggs out there to him and be able to give back to the community. Fresh eggs is my big thing right now. So
there's nothing like, for me, my being grateful is giving back, because so much been given to me. That's why, as a person of Haitian, so I make a concerted effort to always be grateful for the small things. The friends who are saying yes to coming on the show, they don't owe me anything, but they're saying yes, taking an hour and a half from their time to come on the show. I'm so grateful for all of you. Maggie came on, and we were saying, my gosh, Maggie came on, and that was a blockbuster, because her show, the show she did, I think like 5,000 plus people were able to view that show. So it was great. And she's like, Gabrielle, not only am I on, but I want to connect you to other people. All 3 of you connection because of Maggie. And she's already created a WhatsApp page so that I can connect with other people. So things like this, I'm very grateful for. So we just mentioned briefly in terms of like, before I ask a personal question, is there anything that you would like to share? I know when we're having conversation, there's so many things that you enjoy, especially you said you wanted to share with the audience tonight. Is there something that's on your heart that you would like to convey so that the folks who are experiencing a hardships this coming holiday and beyond can be empowered?
Sure. Keith mentioned the community refrigerator, so I'll just briefly introduce that. I got to give props to Counselor Rita Mendez. Because of the work of mutual aid, she reached out to me and she said, Angel, a lot of communities are doing community refrigerators that are accessible to the public, literally a refrigerator that you open and grab stuff out, and you can leave stuff in there if you want, right? That is outside. And I said, that's a great idea. So I got together some of the community leaders of mutual aid. We've been meeting pretty regularly on a weekly basis. We have a potential partnership with the Fuller Craft Museum to launch a refrigerator at the Fuller Craft Museum. Now, the hurdle that we're facing, and I'll mention, then I'll probably put the GoFundMe if it's appropriate, is that the cost of electricity is stalling us, if you will, right? Because it costs money to have the refrigerator outside, and it's a little bit of construction to weatherize it. So we hit a little bit of a hurdle with that, and to kind of go around that, we decided that we want to raise funds to launch this community refrigerator. So we have a GoFundMe, has close to $1,000. Our goal is to raise $10,000, but the community refrigerator would be one of 4 that we would launch in the community of Brockton. And so as soon as we can get the funds to sort of weatherize the refrigerator through the mutual aid funding that we've received, we're going to buy a refrigerator. So all of that is covered. If there's a host out there that is willing to have us put a refrigerator in your bodega, in your church, in your place of business, please reach out to us. We're on mutual aid on Facebook. It's mutual aid Brockton. You can also email us. You can email me at angel@brocktoninterfaith.org. Carla is now taken my place as the mutual aid coordinator with BIC. And I'm so excited because Carla and I have been friends for a long time. And her knowledge, her passion, her resources, her experiences with the community, her connections is going to continue to make sure that we are successful with this community refrigerator. So Brockton, get excited about this. We do need supports. Last thing I'll say is this Saturday, there is a Trader Joe's food distribution at the wonderful Messiah Baptist Church on Legion Parkway. Around 3:00. We're going to get a truck. We need people to help us unload the boxes. It's several trucks loads of food from Trader Joe's that are available for free in the community. So around 3 to 3:30 this Saturday, come get a box of food from Trader Joe's. Also help us to volunteer and unpack the food. But that's the kind of work that is done by Mutual Aid Brockton.
Correct. And you're talking about being grateful. This morning, I'm just sharing, like, it's so important to give back, like volunteering. If you want to be grateful, if you want to stay in the spirit of gratitude, give back, give back, pay it forward. This morning I was with some people. We went, I collected some turkeys, went to drop them off at some older people's house. Homes who don't have, they don't have cars, so they couldn't go to on location to pick up the turkey. As I was doing it, and the thank yous, Gabrielle, thank you. I felt so excited and so elated because I had an opportunity to give back. Of course, I'm gonna eat tomorrow. I'm gonna have fun with my family, but being able to volunteer, coming out to volunteer, that's one way you can be more grateful, and one way you could have more joy and be better part of your community. We've had shows about community matters. So important. So Carla, I know, sometimes we take it for granted, like people know what certain things mean. Like mutual aid, can you just briefly explain that? Because that's something we should have done from the get-go. Like so many folks are not familiar. I was not familiar with that terminology until I got involved with a local organization in Boston. Can you explain what exactly you do and how other people could help with that mission and mission? You on mute, honey? You on mute.
She's like, ooh. I love that face. I love that mute face.
Okay. Well, I just want to say first, thank you so much, Angel, for bringing mutual aid to Brockton, because it's a mutual collaboration. So mutual aid, if you think about just the concept, an aid that's mutually given out throughout community. I'm sorry, I have a 5-year-old. He's like, I don't care. I'm using the bathroom.
Okay.
But mutual aid basically is just community coming together and giving aid, a mutual assistance to community needs. So like Angel had said, like, if a call is, brought out to the public on our Facebook page, this is my son. He will say hi. It's bedtime. Yeah, I do apologize. So, but just again, even when you brought up the mother, the single mother, I just think like I used to be a single mom. At one point I was, going through a transition. So no one tells you if you're an entrepreneur sometimes and how it can, there's ups and downs. And so I went through that pathway. But again, back to mutual aid. It's like, if it wasn't for mutual aid, like, I feel like I wouldn't be in certain places or positions, like just the assistance, like I was ashamed, like I felt like I always did things on my own, and coming together and asking for help and to see how warm and open and welcoming, like, my ask was received. That's what mutual aid is. It's like, if you need help, there are people who are able to aid you within the community that has a like-mindedness, that has an understanding of where you went through. So it's like a mutual understanding, and it's mutual aid. So it's going to be assistance that's going to match you from where you are, because it's like, we all have hit our highs. We've all hit our lows. So it's a mutual understanding. So I do appreciate that. And even, in the holiday seasons, I think, if a person needs help or assistance, come to your local mutual aid. Like Angel was saying, we want to make sure like this concept is in every community, because that's the whole aspect of community. You mentioned it takes a village to raise a child. I'm like, yeah, we're still children, we're still children on the scope of God. We're still learning, we're still growing. I know we're adults and stuff like that. And that's what kind of like, disconnects us. It makes us feel like we can't ask for help. We're not obligated, or we have no right to ask for help, or you should feel shame, and you should have, strapped yourself up by your bootstraps. But COVID proved, life happens. You cannot predict if you're going to get sick. You cannot predict what comes next, what comes after. You're not the fortune teller that you thought. And all of, your precautions that you build for might not work in a scenario. And I think, mutual aid developing showed us we're vulnerable as much as we think we're not from our preventative measures. And community matters, because if it wasn't for community, a lot of like the gaps that we were facing, it wasn't fulfilled by the government that we're relying on. So I'm super grateful for, that terminology, mutual aid. Like we all have an understanding. So that's the only takeaway I would say from it, like a common understanding of common needs and common aids.
Yeah, I love the idea.
And Angel, you're the groundbreaker. So please let me know if I did justice to that.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. That covers it. You're absolutely right on. It's just community supporting community members.
Yeah, you said life happens. It happens. It doesn't matter if you have multiple degrees. You could lose your job and not be able to pay for groceries, and you need help with that. You may not be able to pay for your utilities. You need help with that. You're struggling to feed your children, diapers and all that. I know the community organization that I work with, they're always giving out diapers. You can get help with that. Whatever you need help with, there's help out there. You just have to open up and say, yes, I deserve to be able to ask for help. Because guess what? Once you've received it and you're okay, then you can pay it forward, because we want you to be part of the community. We don't want you to be sitting on the sideline, just watching things happen. We want you to become involved and engaged and part of the community. And the only way you can become engaged and informed and part of the community is if you come out and say, I need help, so that we can pay it forward. Would you agree, Angel? And I see you nodding your head, Carla. Did you want to add anything to that idea or that conversation in terms of like mutual aid, Keith?
No, they've done a good job. These two people are representing that business, and I'm just going to let them say it. No one else can say it better than the two people that are involved with it.
Correct. Yeah. So with that being said, we're running out of time, but I just want to say, fun stuff. What are you doing? I know you say you're taking some time off. What are you doing for this holiday, and who you most? I was with one of my friends' coworkers today, and he was like with his grandson. He's like, that's what I'm gonna do this season, hanging with my grandkids. What are you doing, Keith? For fun or
the two F's. The two F's: food and football.
Oh, really?
Don't bother me. Anything else? Food and football. All three games all day.
Are you watching soccer?
World Cup? No, not World Cup.
I mean American football.
Yes, American football. But I will be peeking in on World Cup though, because I saw that Spain whooped up today 7-0. And that's big. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. And to be honest, I'm real grateful to experience World Cup. My uncle set up World Cup when it came here years ago at the old Gillette Stadium. My uncle was involved with that when it came here. So my uncle got me involved with watching and liking World Cup. And then I was in Fall River one year, and I believe it was Portugal has won the World Cup. And I'll tell you, you don't know how big World Cup is until you're in a place like Fall River with all Portuguese people and they win the World Cup.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I know, Angel, you are watching. Puerto Ricans do watch. Oh, are you too American?
No. Puerto Ricans don't do soccer. We don't. We box.
It's
baseball. We box, but no, we're one of the only Latino countries that are not really big on soccer. And forgive me if there's any Puerto Ricans that play soccer. I didn't grow up playing soccer or watching soccer. More, my father was a Red Sox fan, still is a Red Sox fan, even though we're from like New York. But I know it's a big American football day. I'm a Patriots fan. But I'm just spending time with my family. I'm grateful that my niece is going to host Thanksgiving in Rhode Island. So I'll be going down there and I'll have my baby for some time. And then my 20-year-old and I are going to be spending time with my family members in Rhode Island. So I'm looking forward to just eating. We eat turkey. We eat pernil, which is pork shoulder, right? That's like, we sometimes call it the Puerto Rican turkey. But I'm just looking forward to eating, to be honest with you.
Okay, what are you? I heard you said you were gonna be doing, since your mom is in Haiti, you're gonna be doing the hosting. Are you hosting this year, Carla?
Oh no.
You are next in line to host. No?
She's Haiti, so I had to go do, find a host, a family host. So my friends are taking me in.
Let's just say Gabrielle is an overachiever. So I'll be doing a lot of cooking tomorrow morning. As well as doing most of the, like over my mother's house, I'm doing, my sister called me and she's like, do you need me to come over to help? I was like, yeah, you can come over. But I like, in the past, I used to do it all, like focus for 2-3 weeks, plan my menu, plan everything. But this year I have to get some help because it's
Gabby, it takes a village. It takes a village to teach
It's therapeutic for me. And I love Thanksgiving so much because in the Haitian community we say action de grâce. To me, Thanksgiving is an action de grâce. Like it's Thanksgiving, but it's like the action de grâce. It means something different because you're actually giving to people. So when I do the cooking and when I do the planning for that, I feel like for the entire year, I'm grateful and I want to do something to show how grateful that I've been for the year. So that's why I ended up planning and doing all the work. And this year I emailed everybody like 2 months ago saying like, I have that under control. Come and eat. So I'm looking forward to that. And, lastly, I just want to say that if you are someone who doesn't have a family, and meaning like close family, because this is a university town. find a friend, like, Carla is looked for a host family, right? You are very strategic at doing that. Would you advise, would that be your advice, Angel or Keith, like to reach out, don't stay home, reach out, let people know. A friend of mine, I was talking to her about hosting, she's like, oh, I can help, and then I'll come and be part of that because her family, they're all overseas. So, you just have to open up. Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid to let people know where you at, because that opportunity to go to meet with a friend, to meet with the family, and just have a great time. I know that's what I look forward to. The strangers that we don't know about yet who are going to be coming tomorrow night. I'm looking forward to meeting them and making sure that they have a good time. What about you? What would you say to someone who's alone or not with families right now?
Yeah, I would say, reach out. Again, there's no money making in mentioning mutual aid, but I'm gonna say go to the mutual aid page, message, because if you want to protect your privacy, if you don't want everyone to know your business, message the page and say, I literally don't have anywhere to go, and we will find a way through our connections. We'll make a post generic without your name, and we'll find you a place to get a meal. We have a scarcity mentality sometimes, but there's abundance. There's people that have more than enough. And so we just need to tap into those that have a little bit more and or don't have a little bit more, but have the heart to share the little that they have. So there's more to go around. Just ask. If that's the case and you're in Brockton listening in or anywhere, just reach out to somebody, and there's always a way. There's always a way.
I know there are churches who are doing dinners and food kitchens and different places. Do you have any suggestions, Keith?
Like I said, reach out to your churches. I like the fact that he just announced that you could go on the mutual aid and just ask. And again, like I said, if people are putting it out there on social media, we have a great story. There's a great story that's out of Great Britain. There's a young Black man and a woman who are now celebrating their 7th Thanksgiving because it was a wrong text. Sent the text saying that he had nowhere to go, and this woman's like, well, I'm alone, come see me. And they've been doing this for 7 years. So if you haven't seen this story, it's a grateful story to look at. Every Thanksgiving, this young Black man reached out to this white woman, and they celebrate Thanksgiving every year. And it was all because of a lonely text that was sent to the wrong person. And it's just a great story to look up. So I look at that. And again, I said it's about the F's: family, food, friends, and football.
And football, yes. Carla, anything else you would like to add before we say goodbye? You're on mute again. It's okay.
No, I'm just super thankful. And again, if you are feeling lonely at heart during these holiday seasons, hit up the mutual aid page. But don't be too prideful. And if you feel too lonely, there are people out there who either feel the same or looking for connections. Like I'll say someone like myself, my mom's in Haiti. I feel like our family's scattered. And I'm always just connecting. I think it's important to be with people you don't know. Building connections important, and you are important because you're part of the community.
Yeah, and if you have a big house and you know how to cook, invite somebody over. Don't assume
invite me too. I will come.
Invite someone. Let them know that the mikasa is sukasa. Have them come over. There's gonna be plenty of food. Trust me, to feed everybody. So. Yeah, and then continue to encourage your surroundings throughout the year, not just on holidays, but throughout the year. Let people know that they can come to you. There are resources. I always tell my friends and the people on the show here, the viewers, if you ever need help, please let me know, because, send a text or message or an email, because there are resources. Community matters. There are tons of resources available for rents, for food, utilities, you name it. Do not stay in the cold, do not stay hungry, and do not become homeless because you didn't know that you could reach out and get help, because help is available. So thank you so much for this great show. I'm grateful for all of you for being on the show tonight. Please come back. I'm excited for the holiday, and I'm excited for what's going to happen next year and beyond. please enjoy the holiday. Be safe, but enjoy the holiday as well. Thank you,
you for
everyone.
having us.
being on
Happy
this.
Thanksgiving,
much,
everybody.
Happy
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
Take care. Be safe.
Yes.